In this animation, the pig, or Zhu Bajie, longs for something intimate. He looks to the lunar maiden as a symbol for divinity and purity. However, he unknowingly finds this in someone other than the lunar maiden, and he bumps into her. A true love at first sight moment occurs. The problem is that lust is a human trait, and they were celestial beings. He continues following the trail, and eventually he enviously witnesses the Jade Emperor and the maiden being intimate in an affair, something that could never be imagined as he was a cosmic ruler with an empress. Nevertheless, he is banished to the immortal world as a pig for indulging in these earthly desires, supposedly. Eventually he finds this significant someone in the mortal world, but what follows is the realization that their time apart has made her grow sad and hopeless, eventually turning into a spider, an animal that ironically symbolizes the weaving of destiny, or their destiny to be reunited. While the Zhu Bajie was once an actual pig in his bipedal form that has conversely redeemed himself to become the man he should have been from the start, despite his appearance not reflecting that. It's an incredible animation. So Zhu Bajie is the comic relief of Black Myth Wukong, and it was a pleasant surprise to see him fight beside you in a tag team infiltration mission. He has a very tragic story and past that's both very human but also very relatable. And in this video I'll be looking into all the information given to us about Zhu Bajie at face value, as this is a Black Myth tale, so the developers have rightfully taken some creative liberties that are really interesting to look at. I may be completely wrong and some things are up for interpretation, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Zhu Bajie, originally called Tianpeng, was once a general in the Celestial Court, appointed by the Jade Emperor. He commanded 80,000 naval soldiers and was well known for his strength and arrogance. He's brave and honest, but he's also weak-willed and susceptible to worldly desires, making him a typical lustful alcoholic. In Chinese culture, the year of the boar or pig is like a zodiac sign in which those born in that year enjoy happiness, are caring, but unfortunately they may also be indulgent, simple-minded, and sometimes naive. In the original novel, Tang Sanzang, the main character of the story, or the Tang monk, was the one that gave him the nickname Bajie, which I believe translates to 8 prohibitions in relation to his eating of meat. This dichotomy of characteristics is what makes Zhu Bajie such a likable character. He is extremely relatable, and the journal entry we have of him in the game is a perfect description if you really break it down. So the description for the character admits that he was born with a clumsy heart, following nature and not Buddha's feet. The actual text describes a banquet held by the queen. A small sequence of events that gives you an idea of the type of person he once was. He looks down on those that cannot get an audience with the divine sovereignty, and he's mindful of his alcohol intake, but also witnesses Wukong's antics and wishes he were that drunk. And it also describes his infatuation with the lunar maiden shown in the animation with silver hair. In the original tale of Journey to the West, it said that Tianpeng was accused of flirting with a Chang'e, one of the maidens for the moon goddess. So the Jade Emperor banished him from the celestial world and into the world of mortals, where he was reincarnated as a pig. Different texts and interpretations have it being told slightly differently regarding his behavior towards the Chang'e, but for consistency's sake it seems like the game went with the route that he was in love and instead bumped into someone else, and that perhaps a few jealous individuals may have spread negative rumors to discredit the pig. His life on Earth was not any better. He was a pig with a grotesque face, so it was much harder for him to gain the respect of others. And his lifestyle of indulgence only got worse with the pursuit of women and overeating. In the animation, we see the banished pig follow someone that resembled his heavenly crush, and he pursues her. Now, this is most likely Gao Suilan, the pig's first wife on the mortal world, but her relevance to this story only serves as a way of showing the social rejection he faced. This all changed when he met the Tang monk and Wukong, where they offered him a chance for redemption and growth by becoming the monk's disciple. This is also where he was given the name Zhu Bajie, or the 8 principles, of which included no killing, sexual misconduct, or eating meat. He was the complete opposite of Wukong, and they often fought, but beneath the rivalry was mutual respect and loyalty that the pig had even honoured after Wukong's death in the game, by accompanying you for around half of the journey you take. At one point in Journey to the West, a group of women attack the monk, and Wukong identifies them as supernatural creatures, or female Yao Guais. It's here that the pig's lust gets the better of him, and he transforms into a fish to see these women, and ends up recognizing one of them. It was the celestial acquaintance he once bumped into. The creatures then return to their temple, in which the temple master recognizes the value of the Tang monk and wishes to consume him, so he sets out to poison the group of travelers, as the text reads. Sun Wukong saw through the ruse, overturned the teacups and defeated the spider guais, forcing them to retreat. The Taoist master then engaged in, prompting Wukong to order Bajie to eliminate the 7 spider guais in his stead. Following his command, Bajie wielded his rake and struck down each of the spiders, sparing only the last one. Remembering their brief affair in the water, he hesitated and, with a final thrust of his rake into the ground, told her to flee for her life. We can safely assume that since the pig would not get an opportunity to do so in the celestial grounds, it's here that he may have impregnated the violet spider, potentially even sparing her for this reason, as we find out later on. In the end, the pig was also granted enlightenment and commended for his improvement in character, but he was never given the Buddhahood title, instead receiving the title Cleaner of the Altars, in reference to the fact that he still has a lot of spiritual cleaning to do within his soul and personality that may never be fully achieved, but should at least be acknowledged as unclean. Now fast forward to more recent events within the game, and we see that the pig is largely unchanged. He's still the same arrogant and strong-headed animal, but he's not drinking, and his pursuit of women seems to have dropped to an all-time low, with a few charming remarks here and there. We meet him in chapter 3, but the entirety of chapter 4 is where the story focuses on him. It's titled Rosy Cheeks, Grey Hair, which is almost an oxymoron in its reference to rosy cheeks being symbols of life, love through blushing or innocence in the flowery description, and grey hair, a symbol of old age and experience, which is the complete opposite of innocence. This chapter's title directly describes the violet spider and her feelings towards the pig in 4 words. Now, there is no confirmation that the violet spider is the same celestial being that he bumped into, but we can safely assume for 2 reasons that she is. The first one is from the animation, of course, and the second one is the fact that pig translates to Zhu in Chinese, hence Zhu Bajie, and spider translates to Jizhu. Therefore, she may have simply chosen to leave and be reincarnated as what she thought Tianpeng would be, potentially a case of mishearing. Nevertheless, she was forging her own destiny, as a spider is usually associated with this weaving of the future. We hear from the creatures that she weds a new person, mating with them before devouring them every season, a seemingly lustful practice that the pig similarly engaged in. She even attempts this on him by magically charming him, and it's when the charm is broken that we see his daughter, who is also meant to feast on him. Needless to say, this is a terrible situation to be a deadbeat father in. It's also here that we learn that the violet spider feels as though Wukong may have been responsible for ruining Bajie's mercy for her, or at the very least the opportunity for her to consume him and become one, as she very likely did all her other mates. She still held on to her feelings for him while he moved on and developed as a character during the journey to the west. These feelings are echoed at the end of the chapter, where the pig once again decides to side with Wukong, even in death. In different interpretations, it's argued that there is a heavenly curse placed on the pig that stops him from settling down or finding love, as tragedy always befalls. So it can be seen as him protecting the violet spider and her hatchlings. Still, it clearly takes a lot of willpower to disregard his own daughter and her mother. And it's not something I fully understand yet, but perhaps that is the essence of Zhu Bajie, depicted as a wild boar, unpredictable but determined and strong. For the path to true enlightenment requires you to control your worldly desires and focus on the greater good. Just to notice, I didn't include the echo mirror because I'm still unsure about its significance. The pig sees his former, younger and more handsome self, and is either disgusted by it due to regrets of the past, or simply that he is physically changed so much that he wishes it were real, but he understands it's an illusion. We're told from the conversation at the start of the chapter that the violet spider is also repulsed by it. Does this mean that she would see a spider in her reflection, or perhaps a younger and more youthful self where she may have still been immortal? Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching.